Alright, let's talk about something that seems small, like a single road closure, but actually reveals a ton about how cities evolve, why infrastructure decisions ripple far beyond traffic patterns, and why this isn't just about drivers, but about communities, businesses, and even the future of healthcare in America. Hook, what if I told you that closing one flyover ramp in Asheville could spark a debate about urban planning priorities in the 21st century? So, here's the setup. North Carolina's DOT closed the Patton-Westgate Flyover permanently as part of a massive $1.8 billion I-26 connector project. On the surface, it's about building new bridges and rerouting traffic. But let's dig deeper. This isn't just a detour, it's a microcosm of how infrastructure shapes our lives, often in ways we don't notice until they disrupt our routines. First off, the detour itself. The state says, take I-240 west, exit on Haywood Road, do a couple turns, and boom, you're at Westgate Mall. Sounds simple, right? But here's what they don't mention, the human factor. People hate change, especially when it messes with their daily commute. How many shoppers will just stop going to Westgate because the new route feels like a hassle? And if foot traffic drops, what happens to the businesses there? Earth Fare, CVS, Plato's Closet, these aren't just stores, they're livelihoods. So, while the NCDOT focuses on engineering solutions, the real story is the unintended economic consequences for small businesses stuck in the crossfire of progress. And then there's the elephant in the room. UNC Health buying the mall for $19.5 million. Let that sink in. A healthcare giant buying a shopping center? This isn't random. It's part of a national trend where hospitals and health systems are snapping up commercial real estate. Why? Because healthcare isn't just about hospitals anymore, it's about accessibility. Imagine a future where your doctor's office shares a parking lot with a grocery store. Is this a win for the community? Maybe. But it also raises questions. Will rents go up? Will the same people who relied on those retail jobs feel excluded from a healthcare-centric space? Now, let's zoom out. The flyover closure is framed as a necessary evil for improvements like new river crossings. But who decides what counts as better infrastructure? Personally, I think we need to challenge the assumption that bigger projects automatically mean better outcomes. Think about it, the original flyover was built for efficiency, but now it's being torn down for another kind of efficiency. It's a cycle. And every time, the people least involved in the decision-making, drivers, shop owners, residents, are the ones who pay the price in time, money, and stress. Here's a detail I find fascinating. The NCDOT's use of Facebook Messenger for updates. That's not just a tech choice, it's a generational one. They're meeting people where they are, but also acknowledging that traditional channels, like, say, physical signs, aren't enough anymore. But does it work? Probably not for everyone. Older residents might miss the alerts. Tourists? Good luck. This detour highlights a deeper divide. Infrastructure planning in the digital age requires more than concrete solutions, it demands digital literacy, too. And finally, let's address the elephant in the room. Why does it always feel like infrastructure projects prioritize cars over people? The I-26 connector's budget is nearly $2 billion, but how much of that addresses the human cost, displacement, lost business revenue, increased pollution? What many people don't realize is that every road expansion or closure is a political choice. It's about who has a seat at the table when decisions are made. And in Asheville, as in so many cities, those voices often come from boardrooms, not neighborhoods. So here's my closing thought. Progress isn't inherently good or bad, it's how we define it. If the end goal here is a smoother commute, who exactly is that benefiting? The truckers? The suburbanites? Or the people who've lived and worked in West Asheville for decades? I'd love to hear your take, drop a comment and let's debate this. And if you found this analysis interesting, hit subscribe. Because these little road closures? They're never just about roads.